Hello, this is Starshot here to welcome you back to another Let's Play of Legend of Heroes. We last left off exploring the first floor of the new dungeon we have here right under the Royal Keep. After getting ourselves set up with everything we should need. And now, with pretty much that out of the way, we've discovered at least two super chests that had a lot of dangerous monsters in them and some really good weapons. And now we'll see if we can explore the rest of this floor before moving on to the second one, which you can travel through by the elevator down here. So let's get started. So let's see, it looks like my EP is a bit low for these two, so let me go ahead and heal them up with that. So with some of the EP charges we have here, which always come in handy. Let me go ahead and do the same for Estelle, since she's a bit low. And we should be good for now. So we explored quite a few different areas, but we're still missing a few more, as you can see right here. Just a EP charge X, so we're good for that now. This chest is now full of disappointment. It certainly is, even if I did get something pretty good from it before. And yeah, so just another exploration. We'll see how far we can get today. As you can see, you'll either find some nice items here and there, or some dangerous monsters for an awesome, better item. You open the empty chest and stare inside. Its chest stares back accusingly. Don't be accusing me of stealing anything. There was, it wasn't owned by anyone. Yeah. If no one hasn't noticed, I'm not the best improv person out there, but I at least try. And I think that's what counts. And now here's a more difficult chest we get to handle. So if, for those of you who don't know, these mechanized photon judges, as they're called, are fairly annoying because they can cancel out your EP attacks. And so you think, hey, why not just do regular physical attacks on them? That'll work out pretty well, right? Well, the sad truth about that is that they have a lot of defense, so they can really take hits fairly well. So it's better to use arts when you can. So it's just, kind of annoying. But you just try to focus one down as much as you can and hope it takes them out sooner before they try to kill you. And as you can see, I'm mostly just focusing on all these little guard bots too, because they like to revive their friends when they have the chance. And yes, those are chainsaws, and thankfully they don't hurt as much as you would assume a chainsaw should. Let's see. But as you can see, Arrow Storm works out pretty well in encompassing the entire area. But now here they are, the cancelers. And as you can see, they canceled everything but one of our heroes here. But we'll still try again with the spells and hope we can get a better hit in. That even though they do cancel your attack, that just means you'll attack that bit sooner. So yeah, definitely. I think it is worth it to try and go through this to try and get these awesome items that are in there here and there, since they are kind of the best weapons you can get in the game. You're not gonna find them anywhere else, as per standard to an RPG. And I don't mind doing the extra stuff. Like, I remember playing through Final Fantasy X. And all the fun I had with getting most of the super weapons in that game and being able to unlock them. I think the one I dreaded the most, though, was trying to get Lulu's, I think, or Luca. Not Luca. Lulu's. Yeah, the Black Mage of the party's weapon. Since the only way to unlock hers, I believe, was to dodge lightning 200 times in the lightning planes. Which by no means is no small feat. But thankfully I was able to do it the hard way. And that's actually doing it and not trying to find some sort of cheat or something to do it. Definitely took several tries, but eventually I got it down and I was able to do it. But I'm fairly certain I'll never do that again. For as long as I live. Even if I play through 10 again, I probably skip that one. And since this is taking a bit, let me go ahead and make use of our cannoneer here with her orbital cannon super and see if we can kill a few more minions. Or, no wait, never mind, it's actually a chain gun. Pretty much out of all the super moves, I think this one has to be my favorite. You know, just because how ridiculous is it for this little girl to be wielding a minigun? And, like, I'm fine with some ridiculous stuff. Think of some of the other RPGs out there that are totally nuts. You know, Earthbound. It's pretty weird, but everyone loves it because of how strange it is. But let me go ahead and start healing people here, because we're getting a bit low. And of course she's not close enough, so I'd rather try to heal her first if possible. Since she's the lowest, but I should probably just heal as close as possible for these two at least. And okay, I got him almost there, but he's not quite yet. So let me see if, is this faster than, yeah, it's slightly faster than White Gehenna, but it doesn't really matter for them because they'll attack beforehand anyway. And yeah, that's pretty much the most annoying part, is that because of how many there are, they can cancel the entire party who's gonna do something here. But thankfully we still get a chance, so we'll go ahead and take it while we can. But thankfully we finally got those two down. And I still find it weird that they have the attack called donkey missiles. So hopefully someone will tell me, because I probably won't look it up at this point, because it just seems one of those facts that, you know, it's one of those things that I'm not sure if I'm the one, if I can find it out through online means or not, or if it's really something I have time for. But like normally I like to look things up, just see where they come from or kind of what they're about sometimes. But let's see. Almost there. Let me just go ahead and do a napalm breath on our photon judge here and try to focus on him a little. And I'll just go ahead and use an item and heal our mechanic here. But yeah, definitely the AA cancelers are one of my least favorite moves in this entire game, just because I can't use it. You know, so I guess question of the day, is there an attack move that a boss uses that you would want to use for yourself in a game? Because like I know, I think one of the moves Sephiroth has is like ultimate, or like I forget what it's called now, but it was like he took you to a whole different dimension and destroyed all the different planets, and or I think it was like even called Meteor itself or something. Actually, let me go ahead and try using Earth Lance here, because that's kind of cool. Or not, I guess. There we go. Finally. Like, because I know, or like, I guess boss or enemy, because I know there are some bosses who have the same moves as the player does, and sometimes the bosses have their own special stuff. Oh, cool, we found the Ninetales. I can already guess who that goes to, since the Ninetales is normally something affiliated with whips. So, yeah, that's what it is, and she's now has 300 attack compared to just 270. So that's a pretty good increase right there. And let's see. You already got the treasure, don't be greedy. But that's what our players always do. We always want to make sure we gotten everything. Especially for completionists. And I wouldn't call myself a completionist, even though I do complete a game every now and then. It really depends on the game, and if I really like it that much or not. So here's another chest. Actually, let me go ahead and heal here, because Scheherazad's a bit low. And I'd rather not have to worry about that. Okay, just a tear bomb. And what do you expect to find in here? I expect to find more treasure, good sir. Because that's what I always want. Okay, so it looks like we've covered most of this area here. You know, it's also good to have an indication with the treasure chest, but yeah, we've covered this area here for the most part. So we can move on to another path we haven't explored yet. Let's see, did I already go through all of here? Okay, yeah, there was just that one, and that was kind of it. So now I need to make sure I check over here. Looks like there's nothing. So check north. See if we missed anything before coming to that elevator area. Since it doesn't take too long to run through, as long as you're not hitting every enemy there is. But thanks to the no encounter one, we can avoid them if we want. Oh cool, we got a celestial bomb. And this chest has been picked clean. Well, that's stating the obvious, isn't it? But let's see, so got that chest. Let's see if there's anything else we're missing here before we move on to the second floor. Because it looks like we got 3 of the weapons. One for Oliver, one for Zin, and one for Scheherazad. And now here we are with the spy drones again. And now's a good time to test out our new whip and see just how much more it can do. Oh cool, we got 500 in and we didn't even need the buff. So that is pretty good. We just need the weapons for Estelle and Joshua, and one for Tita as well. So I think I'll probably use the... Okay, it looks like we're back here now. So I think that's pretty much everything. So let me go ahead and just do a quick heal at the orbit station here. And let's go ahead and get to the second floor now. You know, as I said, I won't use the cloak ornament to avoid the no encounters just yet, but I'll probably do that, you know, maybe for the third floor if there is one. Let me just double check here. Because as I said, I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Oh yeah, here we go. Almost missed one. Found another celestial bomb. And this is a note inside. It says, "I saw what you did." That's a bit creepy, but it's kind of weird since I haven't been gone that long. Oh, here's one more. And it's got some nice monsters for us to face inside. Lovely. And it's the same group too, so it's even more annoying. But I guess for the most part, they don't do too much damage. So that's at least one saving grace, but it's still kind of annoying to deal with. And actually, or no, her art move, sadly, Sadist Whip, is only a single attack, so it doesn't really do that much. Okay, this one would cancel some arts, but doesn't help now. And, oh yeah, if I remember right, they don't really, you know, physical attacks don't do as much for this group here, so I'll just stick to my arts and hopefully get some good use out of those. Let me see if I can mute these guys. See if that will stop them from casting their cancelers on us. And then I'll just go ahead and at least hit these broken piece spy droids and get some good damage in. Okay, it doesn't really look like they even use arts in general, so I'm better off just casting my orbments here to hopefully take them down. I mean, that's kind of annoying. But it does say they do heal, so I sort of, you know, you have to expect that sometimes. And of course we got the cancelers again. You know, like, my only issue with the cancelers really is not that they cancel out my attacks, but that that they're so fast. Like, they cast them right away. So, you know, if I have something going, then they obviously can cancel it right away. And that's pretty much their default. That if you have an art that they can cancel, they'll try to cancel it for you. And let me go ahead and do a heal here. But yeah, just keep up with the arts here, and we'll kill them eventually. It does help that we have this turbo mode to speed things up a little. And then I'll probably need to heal her next. Let's see, so I guess I was last talking about bosses and their attacks and how it would be nice if you could actually use some of them instead of making them kind of character specific sometimes. Now, of course, there are some games where, you know, there are some bosses or characters that have the same attacks as you, which I think it does make it interesting a little bit, because then that sort of means that, you know, maybe gives more cohesion to the world. Like, it makes sense of that, hey, maybe that's where this character learned that move. He didn't just learn it because that's what the, like, kind of like the materia system was, where, you know, you're just learning moves that other people had learned before you, but you can't learn them yourself without using that materia. Let me go ahead and use Volcanic, since that's a bit more powerful. And I should probably do some healing soon, since we're a bit low. But yeah, it's kind of a crapshoot who they cancel what. Like, because as you can see here, they seem to all cancel the ones closest to them. And there's not much you can do about it, other than maybe try to move them, but that always takes up a turn. So I usually try to avoid moving the character unless it's very important that I do. Yeah, I think at this point I should probably just use her cannon move again. Or actually, I guess with that one dead now, I should be able to not worry about that as much anymore. And that's kind of annoying how far everyone else is, so there's no point in using the cure or try to cure everyone move right here now, so I'll just give it to her since she's low. And she's probably next when I get the chance. I need to make sure I keep getting the guard unit too, since, you know, if you forget him, then he'll just heal everyone else up. Since we're not really that worried about the other ones, or these spy drones, as we see here, since they don't cause as much trouble or are doing as much damage. or stopping us like these big guys are. But let's see. Let me think now. I guess, well, at least it's helpful that he's only curing himself and not his pals. And I'm just curious, apparently her weapon can do quite a bit of damage, but his swords can, which I guess makes sense since since that thing is made out of metal. Let's see, and then I guess, I'm trying to think now, like, a lot of the abilities that, you know, you see in different games, you know, I always wonder if they sometimes make sense to the character or not, or if that's any thought they put into that character. It's like, you know, why should he know this move compared to this character not knowing this move? And I guess most of the time their moves are usually based on either the character's background or kind of just how they fight. Like, I know in Final Fantasy, you have Cloud, who uses his Buster Sword. So, of course, he has a bunch of supers that are focused around him using his sword in some fashion. And why does it look like that robot is humping things? It's just kind of weird. But of course, that could just be me interpreting something, and that's not what the artist or animator intended. But yeah, so like, and then of course Tifa is a hand-to-hand combat fighter. So she of course had a lot of supers that revolved around using her martial arts. Even though to initiate her super, she had to, for some reason, use a slot machine. Found Magista. Oh, that's a new one. So let me go ahead and add in that orbment that cancels out, that doesn't, no encounters. So for the most part, I think I'm kind of done now with that. It wouldn't be empty if you hadn't taken the stuff in it. Duly noted. So let's go ahead and see what our new weapon is, though. Or better to see it through the items here. Okay, so we got an orbital weapon, so one for Oliver this time. Okay, and the last one I actually got was the Daedalus and the 9 of Tails, so I think that should be everything now this time. Swearsies. Because I think I've gone through just about every single path there is here on the first floor, since that way we saw north or south leads back to the base of operations, and we don't see any paths around here. So I think that should be everything. And just to make sure we haven't missed anything over here, or I think that way should be leading me back to the elevator. So let me just check, since there looked like there was more of a hallway or path this way at least, which looks like we already got. So that should be everything now. Just double making sure, because this is quite expansive. There are definitely quite a few different paths to take before we covered everything. So, but it's pretty much up to you guys if you want to try and get all the different weapons. Like, I'll be curious to see what's in that chest over there, but we first have to find our way over. But thankfully the cloak orbment will help in having us avoid the encounters with the spy droids around here. Because I think the treasure chest monsters definitely provide a lot of good experience, so you don't need to fight them as much. Treasure doesn't respawn, you know. It would be nice if it did, though, and I know actually a few games that do. Let's see. This one looks highly suspicious, so let me go ahead and heal before we get started. But yeah, she's our main healer, so gotta use her. No, just a terror bomb. It's empty. This is not entirely unexpected, right? Well, thankfully it isn't. It'd be kind of really nice if it did, if that wasn't the case though. But yeah, so got that chest, got that one over there. So now we look over this way. So the first floor was pretty expansive and had a lot of paths that we could take to find treasure and stuff. So this one, I guess not as much. What the? That's kind of weird, but I guess that's another. This is a different area here. And here are the mechanized creatures once more. So, but we do have the D-Series Doom. These guys are definitely a lot more annoying, but same rules still apply, and as long as you have the thing for, or the accessory for confusion, and a few other ones, it doesn't hurt as much, thankfully. It looks like I'll just do a single target since I don't have any that could target that just right. So hopefully these guys shouldn't be too bad, but they do, I think, take physical damage a bit better. So it might be good to make use of that right here, thanks to the critical, and Joshua, with his, being able to hit everyone. Which, as you saw, did some decent damage to the droids, but sadly not as much to the bigger ones. And since she's petrified, or paralysis, she can't really do as much. Other than just arts, but that's what we normally do anyway. And thankfully these guys don't have any AA cancelers, so we have a much better chance at taking care of these guys. Even if we still run into the problem of them spawning new ones to deal with. And then let's go ahead and get a heal in here. Always important to heal. Of course, there aren't too many games, or most games do have an option to healing. You know, I've rarely found one that didn't. Like, I know there are some games that you have a lot of difficulty finding ways to heal. Like, I think there was always enough health packs for Half-Life, and you had the regenerating shield in Halo. But I know, like, there are some games, like even this one, where healing's a lot more important through EP and even items, since items are a lot more expensive if you try to buy them outright, instead of just making them yourself through the recipes. So, but yeah, we'll keep focus on these guys. And so, like, I guess I'm trying to think, well, I know, like, Dark Souls is fairly famous for its lack of healing items, even though there are a few different ways that are good for healing, either at the bonfires or the Estus flask, yeah, that you kind of carry around. Of course, I remember, I think in Doom Souls, you just, not Doom Souls, actually that would be really cool, to mix Doom with Dark Souls. I wonder how that would turn out, actually. I actually think it'd be a pretty cool game. Yeah, but let's focus on this guy and take care of him so we don't have to worry about him spawning any more droids. But yeah, but back to, like, Demon Souls, as it's called. Originally, you just ate some grass, and it healed you for a bit, but you, of course, could run out of grass. You didn't have this Estus flask that kept refilling whenever you visited a bonfire. No. You had to be careful, or you just have to buy a lot of grass if you wanted to survive any of the levels sometimes, or bosses for that matter. Can I just attack him? No, too far away. So, Shadow Spear. But yeah, so Doom Souls would be interesting, and I would like to play Doom. I haven't played Doom yet, so that's definitely one of those games on my list. I have plenty of games on my list I should probably play. So, thankfully we got that level up, so now they're at least level 34. And we found the Atlas gear. Oh, I never heard of that one before. An empty chest. Scandalous. It totally is, because you've already given me treasure. Well, let's see. What's the Atlas gear? Is it a new weapon? Or let me just go ahead and see if I can find it on here. Oh, here we go. It's some new boots. And it's men only. Why am I seeing a theme here? But oh well. Let's see if we... we'll still have to give it to someone, so might as well give it to Joshua here. Definitely an improvement. It's always good to get that nice new gear. But let's see... well, let me go ahead and heal quick here. And let's see. We'll go around. Maybe let's see if I can find that treasure chest I remember seeing before I finish things up. Oh, and actually it's down there apparently. So there must be some path to it, but I'll find it eventually. Really does help to have the cloak on, so you don't have to worry about any enemy encounters. But okay, let's see where this one goes. Oh, it's actually going up. Seriously? Okay, so apparently there's some areas we missed in the first level. And it's for this treasure chest. So let me go ahead and get an EP charge for Estelle here, since she looks a bit low. And one for our friend Tita here. And yeah, let's go. Too late now. So we got more of these guys. Always annoying as heck. So Volcanic Rave should work. It'd also be nice if, actually I guess for her, it'd be better if I just do a regular attack like I saw before. Because she does do a nice area effect. And we saw she did quite a bit of damage before, so I might try to just use that while I can. Especially if there's a critical somewhere around here or not, whenever that buff decides to show up. Because it seems slightly random with when the buffs show up sometimes. Like sometimes they can be very rare, and then other times you just see a bunch of them pop up. Like kind of what we're seeing now. Which I guess would be probably good to use for my plans with Tita here. Since she's at 200 right now, it'd be really useful to kind of hit everyone with one of those times 10 attack. So, but I can set one up right after I get this casted. There we go. And yeah, right here should do it. As I said, this is one of my favorite attacks. I can't get tired of it. Well, at least it took care of most of the smaller ones. Which helps, but sadly, we still have a ways to go before we take care of the bigger guys here. And I keep seeing the donkey missile, and I'm kind of imagining, like what an actual donkey missile would be like, because I could see, like an actual donkey riding it, or at least being part of the ammunition, and when it explodes, it just donkeys are everywhere or something. Of course, I guess you could interpret it a different way if you wanted to, but I'm trying to keep this Let's Play PG, so you can just keep it in the comments if you want. Let's see, so still gonna focus on doing something with White Gehenna, but I guess I'll keep to the Arrow Storm since that's always good. But at least this one is slightly easier to deal with since now there's just the three of them. Actually, let me go ahead and do a heal here since we're a bit low. But yeah, so not the it's one of the weirdest names I've seen for an attack, but you know, I have played Earthbound and I have played Undertale, and those are pretty eccentric games. Of course, I love them. You know, for how interesting they were. And it would be nice if there were more like modern day RPGs sometimes. Like, I don't mind. I do love the fantasy. I love my fantasy. Give me some orcs and elves any day. Or even add some new guys here and there when you can. But it would be nice to kind of have that modern day RPG every now and then. You know, like, I know other than Earthbound and, you know, even, I guess Undertale's not that modern, but still, there's, or I guess, no, it is sort of modern, even if everything's happening underground in a mountain. But yeah, you know, I'd be curious to see, and I guess I'm wondering what the main reason is for kind of the lack of games like that. If that's just because that's how things worked out, or, you know, no one really cares to do modern day because, you know, this is fiction, or it doesn't really lend itself to having the interesting scenarios sometimes, even though both Undertale and Earthbound did pretty good with it. And we got Berserker. Oh, cool. I think that one's for either Joshua or Estelle, but we'll see shortly. And Yuri took everything it had to offer. What more do you want? Could I get some better gear that would actually go with my female characters here? Well, let me go ahead and find our new weapon. I think it's a weapon. Okay, so who's it for then? Oh, okay, it's for Adgate. Of course, the weapon called Berserker goes to Adgate. Oh well, I guess it makes sense now, but I was hoping it could have gone to one of the others. So, that's seems like a good spot as any, so join us next time when we explore more of the dungeon. We pretty much finished floor 1, and now we'll get back to floor 2 and search out more. So until next time, have fun gaming.